Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Tuesday. Doc here from North America. You see, we're wrestling with time. I had a battle with something this morning, trying to figure out on something had changed. There we go. There's the Swiss now. You can see that. There's the Swissy. The Swissy. And the dollar's still firm, which is curious in its actions because we keep on seeing the bonds going down. So I am now, I don't know why I feel perplexed. I shouldn't just trust the math and go from there. That's usually the safest thing to do. But I'm always trying to figure out what the story is. And somehow or another, the story just seems to get weirder. That's the only way to describe it. In the financial markets, since the financial crisis of 2008, it's been real whack. It really has. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Let's see where the chat line is. I'm going to head up to there now. I am dancing. Let's make sure we hear me. Can you hear me now? Let's see, there it is right there. And nobody asking a question at the moment, so okay, I didn't miss anybody's question, so that's a safe thing. That's good. Skip that. It's a quiet morning, so that's quite all right. Let's see, where are we at now? Let's fix some of this so we can see this better. Let's see, where's Mr. and Mrs. Mouse? There we are. So, like that. Let's see, and then we go like, let's see, grab Mr. Mouse again, right there. There we are. And I guess we move it over a little bit, like so. I always like to see the bid and offer on J4X as much as possible. Maybe we can do this. I can move this over on an angle like that. Ah, that's better. There we are. Now we're getting there. There we are. That's a good visual, and you can see at the same time the bid and offer on Swiss, on Dukascopy's bid. 91.28 at 29. Let's put that up there. That's CAD. Someone was sent me an interesting article about the CAD, thinking that it was going to break out. I was like, it seems to be trading about normal. I mean, it's been a little different over the last couple of months, but overall, relatively normal. There you go. See the Swiss there? It's been firm for the last couple of days. It's in a daily buy, as you can see on our math. You can see here, same thing going on with the Chicago Quant. It's trying to turn up, and it has right there for the last 2 days. What else do we got brewing here? We see lots of green dots, and we got 2 green bars there, so it's showing life in it. And what it does is it emphasizes the fact that the dollar is being bought. It always makes me nervous in the sense of it's a flight to safety type thing when I see some of the action. This morning, boy, they pounded the daylights out of nowhere. They pounded the market. I was like, boom. And I didn't see any real news. I think we'll take a look and see if we can find some real news on that. In other words, what excited the slide? It was like in like a 4-minute period. We saw the S&P 500 drop 10 full handles, which was like, whoa, smack-a-doodle. It's like some type of news must have come out. And like I said, I always like to correlate, not coordinate, but correlate, not front-running here. Correlate the action. In other words, what the news is. What's the story? What's the story? So let's go I'm going to take a quick look on some of the news sources and see if we can find anything particular. Let's see. Nothing up my sleeve. I don't see anything particular. B of A transitory hyperinflation ahead. I've been seeing that for days now, so undisclosed bias even... Okay. It happened about half hour ago. I'm see if I can find any news. Future slide, tech week on rising inflation fears. Okay. That's the story. While mega-cap tech companies have been a core part of the solid performance of portfolios throughout the pandemic, we think investors should be careful to avoid over allocation to this part of the market. Okay, so somebody came out and said something. Let's see what it is. Let's see who made that statement. Maybe I was listening to it. Someone made that statement, and obviously it had an effect. I saw a good slide into the product there. Let's see. Interesting. No, I don't see who said that. But we will go through that as time goes on and maybe even bring up the discussion tomorrow because that was interesting. And maybe they're going to start selling this market down a little bit. It's hard to say, solely because, you know, what it really comes down to in the end result is that the Federal Reserve is the buyer of last resort. And that's where it's all at, and it's not going to change any. Now, they do allow for slides here. It does happen. They do let the market slide down a little bit, but overall, they are as the market likes to say, they are the put. There's like a put option, a put, binary. They're a put. They're for free, and that does kind of round it all out in the end. No questions so far, so that's cool. Let's see. All right, I like questions. More questions, the better. Now, where do we go to? Let's take a look at the euro because they rolled over again, which was interesting. The way as we went into the sell here. Why isn't there a line there? Why does it do that? Let's put the line in there. Right there. Oh, no, not that. Right there. And as you can see over here on the fact check spreadsheet on line 14, we are 2 full days in a sell, but 4 weeks in a buy. So I don't expect this to do too much damage. It just looks like they're rolling over for the moment. You can see it here. It is daily. But look at the weekly. The weekly is so firm up in here. Let's put it up on J4X. Right there. You see the pressure on that at the same time. It's broken that line there. What a great tool that is. It correlates with our math. Like, it's a little laggish. It lags kind of by, I don't know, a couple hours. This is a daily chart, so it's not too bad. It lags by 4 to 6 hours. And at the same time, the Hinky-Ashi bars emulate our dots really well, but the problem is, again, they lag by like 6 hours. So, in other words, I'll get a red dot, and then this thing will kick out as a red dot like 5 or 6 hours later. But, if you're not watching this live, or you're not, you haven't had a chance to tune in, at least if you have this tool, you're going to be able to have a better idea where the marketplace is going and what it's up to. And that's really the answer right there alone. Just the whole idea right there is to have just a good generality of where the marketplace is going. And this indicator here, which the market technicians associations across the planet consider a lagging one, we can't find anything as close as to my math. So how is it a lagging one? I don't know. But we shake our heads at that. We just laugh it off. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Now let's jump over to cable. See what the cable's up here. And that is right there. There's cable. There's British pound against the dollar. You see it's also moving down just like the euro is against the dollar. And has broken that line. And that's line 13 on the fact check spreadsheet. Again, another 2 days in a sell and 2 weeks in a buy. And so let's check it out on the Chicago Quant. It's go to the well, as they would say. And there it is right there. You can see that. Now, we should have a little line there, so let's put that in. Sometimes I close this stuff, it doesn't save it. I have to tell it to save, and sometimes I forget to do that. There we are. And so you can see from the work here, it's in a sell. Everybody knows it's in a sell because it's below the zero line. Let's emphasize that zero line for you a little bit, like so. There it is right there. So, but it has gone up more than it has gone down since it went into the sell. But it's trying to recoup that. That's kind of neat, Good money management will protect you there. And if you're trading binaries or options, then it's obviously even less painful when it goes wrong. It gives you that amount of buying time, or time to catch up type of thing. So I think I'm going to pour myself my tea. I hadn't done that yet. A little cup of tea. Since it's quiet, no one's asking any questions. We'll just do this nice and slow and steady and accurate. Alright, so there's a cable working its way down. You can see the weekly kind of anemic in the sense it won't break the time manifold right there, that yellow line there. I guess we should change that time manifold. Make it clearer. And thickerish. Right there. There we are. Is that the right color? No, it's not. I want both of them to look the same. Which one is that? Is that it right there? Maybe that's it. There we are. See how that looks. That's better. So you can see here this time manifold on the weekly. Instead, the manifold, it's tightening up itself. When's the last time we saw it tighten that tight? It's been a while. What kind of noise could come from that? I don't know. Let's see. There's a tight spot, and we had a nice run on the upside. Doc really likes this product, so there's one. Back in March of 2020, it got so tight for about 3 weeks, and then it collapsed. Went into the daily sell, and look at that. It started, it started the week right here, and then started to rise, and it was like, woo, sell, sell, and we were in a weekly sell and a daily sell, and it was like sell, 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 sell. As we take a sip of our tea. All right, now we jump over to that wild story of, let's say Tuesday, right? So yesterday's story of Aragon, President Aragon. Wow. And the campaign in Turkey about where'd the 128 billion go? That is a wild campaign issue, if they do have elections. $128 billion seems to have disappeared somewhere, and they're saying that Aragon, people are putting up these posters, and then the government comes and rips them down. And even on private buildings, they put up banners that says, where's the 128, or where's the 128 billion? And the government comes out and rips them down without supposedly a court order of some form. And then there's an MP in Turkey doing the same thing. In his office, in the parliamentary building, in his office, he has a banner out there, and they brought a fire truck out there, and they took it down. And so he says he's going to put it back up again. Where's the 128 billion? Someone's doing something. All right. Oop. There it is. Right there, you can see Turkish lira is trying to move up. Where's that little line of mine? I guess if I contract it. There it is right there. Let's see if I can move this down. Yeah. We keep on thinking because of that crazy wild move here that we're going to go challenge that dotted line. You can see the weekly is trying to turn right there on our work. And you can see it's in a daily buy for a few days. And then we go down to the, where's it at? Right there. There's the Euro Turkish lira. And last we looked yesterday, the weekly was trying to get through. Look at that. I mean, it's trying to jump through the weekly buy number. I guess we should change that color because it's trying to set up. Normally, let's see, has it gotten through there yet? Nope. See, that plot one is minus 0.0008. That's right. Like a micro shaving. That's what we're doing here. And then plot 4 is 0.0016. So it's just inching its way up. If it gets through to plus, we will do that one of these things. We'll put a little oval like that around it. Whoop. To emphasize it, so you move it over like that. But it's not there yet, so I'm not going to do that. Remove. All right. Now, let's check it out on J4X and see what we learned from that. There's the Euro Turkish lira. You see that as it loads. There we go. You see the three greens, just like, where isn't it? Let's get rid of that. We have right there, and then we have that red one in there too, warning you. You see the white lines trying to pierce through. So that's pretty cool. It is piercing through. And then let's double check. Double check. Oh, we should put a little green line in there. Show me. In this case here, the close of that off the opening of the nail there, which is only like a half hour later, pushed it into the buy on that day. So it's 2 full days in there. I think that's what it is. Or going on a 2 full days right there. You can see it on line 17. 2 full days in a daily buy right there. And so that's the action in the Turkish lira. And that's a wild and woolly product to chase after. Now, let's see, where do we go from here? Let's go to Canadian. That's that story. That's why the Canadian was up there this morning. Friend had sent something over saying that they one of the houses was saying that they're looking for a major breakout in the yen, not the yen, the Canadian dollar against the dollar. So that was like, ooh, okay. So then I sent a chart over. But let's do that. Let's jump over to the Canadian right there. And you can see we're flirting with a daily buy today. We're through the line right there. Still, the weekly is not screaming at us like, warning, warning, Will Robinson, warning, you know. It doesn't seem to be that concerned about it. Let's take a look at it over on J4X. And dollar CAD right there. Nice. It's even in green now, too. That's really good. And you can see it's trying to get through. It's battling hard. It'll get there. It's pushing. It's pushing. It's a pushing. Trying to get up through that line there. All right. Now from there, what we do is we slide over to the NASCAD and look at the energy complex. That's what we do here. So let's do that. Oh, I didn't check my sound. Let's see how my sound is. All right, NASCAD. There's the sound. There's NASCAD. It's obviously, there's pressure on it when you look at that bar. So, Canadian's moving up, as you can see up top here. Let's do this right there. Canadian's moving up. So we would assume oil is sideways to down at least. I guess that's the best way to describe that. Now we have the NASCAD up on here. Let's go like that. Match it up to J4X. Let's see. Right there, down to there. Slide over to here. There it is. And there's NASCAD. You can see it's moving down. So we assume, again, oil is feeling some pressure in here. So we're going to zip over to the oil complex and see what's going on. Well, this has been really pushing down for days. What do we have on that fact check spreadsheet? NASCAD. Where's it at? Right there. So NASCAD's been in a weekly buy for 3 weeks, but also the last 8 days going on 9, we've been in a daily sell. It's been telling us that this pressure's here. That's why you can't be long it, even with it in a weekly buy, because why, traders? The daily's in a sell. So you need these two to go together. Or if you're trading the binaries slash the binaries or the slash the listed options. That's the only safe way to fight the two signals. Now, let's jump over to the oil complex. Now, last night, I do know, we closed in a daily buy last night in oil. And we're 3 weeks in a buy in the oil. So let's see what it says. Right there. Right there. Well, that doesn't look like it's down. This thing's really breaking away from the two pairs trades that usually give us an indication of what's going on. Here it is up on J4X. And it looks like have they broken the high from there? The high there was 65.82 going back in March, right? Yeah, so let's just double check that. There's the high right there. 65.82, that high was 65.75, and today's high is 65.84. You can see right there, and I go like that, you'll see it again, 65.84. And what was this? 65.82. So it's took by 2 cents. It took out the highs. Now you can see here that on the weekly, when it broke into a weekly buy, this baby broke through the time manifold, and it's doing that contraction thing. When they do that contraction thing, they can get a little aggressive. There's no doubt about it. That can be the sign of some real action coming. Look how tight it got here, and it went into a sell, and then but it was in a buy, so you didn't get beat up on it. Then it goes into a weekly buy, and it goes into a sell. You don't get it beat up again. Then it goes into a buy here, and that's for your winner chicken dinner there. And then it goes into a sell, both of these here, and you can see smack-a-doodle with that tight signal. So it's another winner chicken dinner. But that is something. We seen, I saw someone talking about it this morning. It's always nice that they pay attention on the talking head side of things. And that was how the lumber's at like record prices, way up. What was it? Daniel yesterday was saying rolled steel is trading at a very high rate at the moment. I mean, not record, but it's high. The commodities and the inflation, was it even Munger and what's his name, Buffett were saying that all they see is inflation. Yep, that's where it's at. So, I mean, it's there. It's just a matter of the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. I mean, Mrs. Yellen said one of the weirdest things yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was. She said something really strange because someone asked her about inflation, and she said that doesn't have any real relevancy right now. And she said the more important thing is that the rest of the world needs to raise their capital gains. I was like, what? So, is that a level of arrogance? We should have not a contest, a poll. How arrogant is it that the U.S. Treasury, the Secretary of Treasury, believes that the world needs to follow American policy and raising taxes, irregardless of how their country is? I thought they were supposed to. These Democrats, I thought were supposed to be the people of tolerance and sharing and caring, but instead they seem to do some of the strangest things that are very fascist. It's very odd. But somehow the media tells us that they're the ones that care, but they keep on doing fascist things. So I'm confused why the media is constantly saying that they're the ones that care when they keep on doing fascist things. I'm weird. I'm weird. Yeah, I'm weird. All right. I see it, and it blows my mind. It's weird too. All right. So yeah, you can see here oil is being very tenacious at the moment. At something like what is that? Let's look at it on J4X. Sometimes J4X can be very visual. Let's make this a weekly. Let's see the last time we saw oil this high up. Now this is Hinky Ashies, so we know by looking at what we just looked at that this did not get taken out. All right. So we do this, we move this over. Oh, we need to lift this up a little bit so we can see the date. There it is right there. So when's the last time we saw it up in that high area? There's the 40s. This is April of 2020. There we go. So up in this area here. See the little arrow right there? What's that? 65.61, and we're at 65.84. Basically, what's that? April? No, what is that? That is January and December of 19. So it's been a while. It's a couple of years. There's one there. That is April of 2019. So it's been a while. It's been a while since the product's gotten this high up. Okay, now let's make that back to a daily. There we are. So that's a It's been a while. We're running at the highs. I guess, we have this. I mean, when you look at soybeans and corn and wheat and everything, they're all flying at all-time highs. Or I don't know if it's all-time highs or just flat-out highs. I want to say I remember beans at one time back in the 80s. Let's see if we can do that on J4X. J4X has beans on it. Not there. That's bonds. Not there. There they are. Let's make this a monthly and see how far back it goes. That's the first quarter of when? 2018. And even then it's not up in the 14s. So it's been a while. I've seen heavy prices, big prices at times. But I'm trying to think. I want to say in the 80s there might have been a panic. And it didn't last this long, though. That's the thing, is it goes up for a couple of days. It's a short squeeze for delivery. It's that type of thing. But we're seeing now just consistent, solid. I mean, let's go. Now you're seeing a daily being from 2019. Maybe if I use an arrow on this. Push the arrow. Yeah, there we go. You see it played around the 9s and the 10s a bushel. There's 11s. When is that? That is a year ago. There's the 13s. There's the 14s. And that's where we are now in the 15s and almost touching 16. This is for old crop. So that's the inflation. I mean, really, we're all seeing it, except for Mrs. Yellen. She only sees raising taxes on everybody's capital gains across the planet as something better. She sees that as economically viable, she said. How nice. When did they vote her in? Okay. Let's see. Let's go to where are we going to go here? So we were looking at inflation. So we looked at one thing it doesn't reflect it as much as we see it in the Bitcoin and things like that and the cryptos. We don't see it in gold. That's the problem. Is that gold and silver. Yesterday they popped that stuff, but there doesn't seem to be any follow through. So let's see. What we normally do is we look at energies after we go through those two pairs trades. I'm just going to take a look at natural gas here. You can see it is flirting with a daily buy at the moment. Has a little bit more work to do. But here we are in May, and we're going after the $3 area in natural gas. Interesting. Then here you would expect it, RoboGas. This is the gas oil for automobiles. People, are traveling, better weather, they have vacations, all kinds of things like that. And you can see here it's taken out the March high there. And let's contract this a little bit more. You can see here, we went into a weekly buy in DEC of 2020. And, the thing climbed from the 140s. It's almost doubled in price. Wow. That's inflationary. You go to the gas pump and you need to fuel up your machine. And next thing you know, instead of it's 10 American dollars, it's 20 American dollars. Or it's 40 American dollars instead of 20. Or you hear about some of these other vehicles. It can be, $80 instead of $40. That's an inflationary characteristic. It is kind of funny that we have a Secretary of Treasury that doesn't recognize that whatsoever. All right. Now, let's go over to the metals. Normally, I think we jump off from here and go look at the ruble and so forth, but let's just I guess we were talking about inflation, so we really should start to jump off to the metal complex just a little bit. Let's just see where gold is today. Yeah, see, they're putting pressure on it from yesterday. It caught the buy, and we're in the weekly buy here. A little pressure there, nothing major. It's trying to roll over, but you can see not anything dastardly. It's just more of the red dot. And it was rolled over, and now it's trying to pop back up again so I can get rid of that red line. Because all there is a red dot. This was minus for a little bit this morning. Now, I just want to double check. I thought I could have sworn it was. So let me just double check the chart we sent out. Right there. There it is. Yeah, see? No more than like an hour and a half ago or less, it was piercing. It was less than an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. It was piercing the minus side. That's why the red line is in there. You can see it was much lower. And it had gone down to a low of 82. And so we get rid of that. And now you can see we're trading at 90. So it's moved up $8. So, our math is very sensitive. Silver. There's silver. Silver doing the same thing, except for in this case here, it is pushed back under since when it went into the plus there yesterday from the gap. Let's give that a refresh. Boy, Robin was saying to me his dot system that he's been paying attention to for like 20 some odd years started generating the negative side after it ran up. It's like, oh man, can't that thing have a follow through for a little while? I mean, we are in a weekly buy, and yes, if you're trading binaries and options, you're doing A-OK. You can see here we've been in the buy since, what is that? That's April 9th. Okay? And that's cool. It went from the 25s, all the way up to to 27. And that's cool. But, it just does it in a choppy way constantly. It just tries to shake you out. The central bank is obviously putting pressure on it one way or the other, making it look more shakier than it should be as far as I'm concerned. Let's have a sip of tea since it's a quiet morning. There we go. All right, so now we drift over to, where's it at? We go to the currencies again right here, and we take a look at the ruble. You see yesterday they pushed it into the buy, and it's getting pushed right back again into the sell. You see we closed in a weekly sell last week. Kind of sloppy. Nice, interesting sell-off all the way down. It's turned it into a volatility signal more than it has been a sell signal with this pop-up. But I think we still threw it up on the fact-check spreadsheet as a buy. Let's see, where's that at? Yeah, right there. Since it was in a weekly sell, it's just a neutral anyway. It's a good, safe way of conveying the trend of be neutral by doing that. And sure enough, it's back pushing into the sell. And now you can feel safe if it closes like this, that we can be short the product again, seeing it go down. Then we jump over to where is it from here? We go to the yen right there. You see they put it in a buy about 4 or 5 days ago. That's line 19 right below the ruble, and you can see 6 full days in a daily buy, but still 3 weeks in a sell. And the weekly, you can see on our work here, is not really doing its best to get into any buy at this moment, and breaking the negative side of the nonlinear time manifold. That's the yellow lines there, right there. See what it looks like on Forex. Right there. The pressure is down. It hasn't broken here on that yet, just like ours has not here, as you can see, right up in here. And it's trying. The pressure is trying to come down. You can see it's trying to break through those time manifolds up there on the daily. A lot of green, just like here. So it's kind of like a stand by and wait with the dollar yen traders here. Now, from here we run over to Mexican peso. Right there. You can see same situation. It's been very firm since we went into that daily buy there. And at the same time, you can see here, the weekly now is making a mild, ooh, did that just try to make the plus? Yeah, see that? It is minus 0.01. Very tight. Getting close. And it's just really, really close. And let me just double check because this does say gas 3.5. So let's see if we're using the 5. No, see 5 is invisible and green. Okay. Oop, cancel. There we are. So it's just on the edge. Just on the edge. And as you can see, 5 is a plus 12 right now, 0.12. It's a plus just by the hair of its chinny chin. We'll see what goes. See if they put it back into the buy and see this. The thing's been in a daily buy now for, like I said, 6 days. So it's been pushing consistently firm. Ooh, T. Let's see, what else can we look at here? That is about that. Sometimes what we do is take a look at the South African rand, because of the metals complex. But you can see how the metals complex has been firm, but choppy. So let's just take a look at the rand and see how the rand has been trading over these last few days too. Firm, but there it is right there. And it's moving up. So that's weak, right? And when this is going down, gold is strong and silver is strong. So it's reflecting the weakness right now in the sloppiness. Pop yesterday was up higher, had been like a 3-week high, that type of thing. It's been a daily buy for a few days, kind of firm. And you can see here the weekly is trying to pierce through the negative time manifold here and negative side of the time manifold and trying to get to the zero line there. Let's put it on J4X. There it is. You can see the green bars. There's 3 of them there, matching up relatively well to our 4. Matter of fact, there's Daniel's MACD. MACD's happy today, isn't it? It's been through the dotted line for a few days. Good action. All right. Now, that's the rand. And then what we do is, we can go look at, we jump over to Bitcoin and things like that, thinking, again, inflation, places to run to, safe haven, all that stuff, trying to, basically come up with that. So first thing we do is we look at, nowadays, since we have a really solid product, let's see if we can find it here. There it is, Coinbase. There's Coinbase right there. You can see it. Oh, it's moving down today. Remember yesterday they had popped it up off the opening and then knocked it down. Hello, inflation. Hello, there's inflation. And then you can see here, there's the intraday that we're following. And what happened was it popped it up yesterday morning. We were thinking, oh, maybe they're going to run after it because of the inflation. But no, Mrs. Yellen chilled everybody out. Like, we have no inflation worries. We just have taxes that need to be increased across the planet. Join into the party. The water's warm, Mrs. Yellen is saying. All right, and you can see here we went into a daily sell, a bar sell, I guess you could call it, right there, and it never looked back all day long. Just kept on. It tried to firm up in here a little bit. You can see that was plot 1 was a minus 0.01, very close. This morning they're knocking it down more. Kind of an insinuation of maybe inflation is not there. I don't know. And does anybody really take that $15 a board foot on lumber or twice the price of fuel? Or, is it here or is it not here? Am I right or am I right? All right. And then you can see here, this is the Bitcoin. And Bitcoin popped up into a daily buy. And looks like it rolled over yesterday into the real daily sell again. I thought it was in a buy yesterday. Oh, no, that's right. There it is. It stayed in the buy because it, even with the line breaking underneath. But today, it's doing the opposite here. It's doing that trying to go to sell type of thing, right there. Right there. It's trying to push them to sell again. It, for inflation tools, you just have to I mean, is there really a clarity to any of this stuff when it comes to, is it really an inflation tool or isn't it? I say it is. I believe it is, and the values of it usually represent it. But, will we see this thing break down more? I doubt it, even with it in a weekly sell. Unless the central bank is out there now selling it too. Remember, there are futures on this product. They can beat that up. In other words, on that weekend when supposedly that, was it a $1.5 billion sale that took it down from the 60s all the way down into the 50 or 40s and change? Was that the central bank? Do we know who that really was? I mean, they can open up an account. All they have to do is write a check. And they can do it through many names. They can create many companies. Federal Reserve is allowed to do whatever it wants to do. All right. The federales are not going to be knocking on its door for writing a bad check, because those checks always clear. They're capable. They're the ones that clear it. All right. So there's the two cryptos. Now we can jump over to the stock indices and check them out. The old school. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. There's the Nasdaq 100 still pressing down and flirting more and more and more with its weekly. We'll see. Now this is running on a gas 3.5 and the green line is the 5. So I think oh no, wait a minute. I think the 5 is, the 5 is the white histogram. That's what it is on this. So it's, we put that in there to remind us all what's going on. We need the green line. That's the plot 1 of the gas line 3 to break down with it. You can see the daily has been warning us since the 13,900 area, and now we're in the 13,600 area. So it's not a lot of points, And when you look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, well, today it's starting to flirt after just one day getting into the buy. It also had gone into the sell back there and went sideways down and up, making lower highs. Like there was a lower high. This is a lower low and lower high, lower low, lower high, and that explosion. Lower high and low. Then lower, another trapped, what they call an inside bar right there. And then yesterday they tried to push it into the buy. We didn't have a red dot there yesterday. And then now you can see it's trying to go down again. We're below here, these two things, and there's no dot at the moment. So the pressure is in the stock indices. It's there. Matter of fact, I'm looking at this one right here this morning, and we'll see how that plays out. But due to the fact, let's see, what do we do? Here we go. We can turn that like that. I thought that was pink. How are you not pink? There we are. This thing, and let's see what this is telling us. Yeah, so the histogram is invisible on this. This is all plot 3. And let's see what it says there. Even the plot 5 of the super is minus. They're all minus here. So that's the next gig that could break down. We'll see. We'll see what kind of happens today. That might be the play right there. We'll see how they treat it. Because right now, where are they at in this marketplace? Let's jump over to the, let's see, where is it at? Let's go with J4X and find the NAS. There's the S&P 500. And let's put 15-minute bar in there. No, that's not the S&P 500. What is that? That's British pound something. There it is. That's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I wanted to get the S&Ps. There it is, right there. And you're going to see the same thing. It's been gliding down now for like the last hour and a half. Whatever, the inflation news shook them up a little bit. The way with the Federal Reserve as the standing put all the time, it's awful hard for it to stick around as they'll shake it off over time. Who knows? Even the Federal Reserve is lending money overnight to the institutions for free, so it really forces them to buy. And you know what? If you don't buy, then they won't lend you free money. It's kind of a gang-like thing, isn't it? So the Federal Reserve lends like, Citadel and, I don't know, Warren Buffett and everybody with big money. They lend them money overnight. Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, J.P. Morgan. They loan them all this. They loan them money every night, and they don't charge them a dime, not a thin penny, nothing. Then they lend them a $500 million or $1 billion or something like that, and they've been doing that for months. And so, what are you going to do? I mean, they give it to you for free. You can't go to the malt shop and buy, a billion milkshakes. They'll get pissy and they won't give it to you for free anymore overnight. So you got to go out there and you got to buy bonds and you got to buy stocks, or buy stock indices. You got to step up and do something with it. So when people say, how does the Federal Reserve do it? That's how they do it. They hand it to what you could call a hostage situation. The banks and some of the big funds are hostages to the Federal Reserve. And what are they? They're like drug addicts. Somebody comes to your door. I mean, when's the last time someone ran up to your door and goes, "Hello, anybody home? Can I loan you $500,000 overnight?" I mean, I think I'll give you $500,000 tonight, and but you got to be responsible with it. And obviously, if you piss it away on chicks and music, I mean, they're not going to give it to you tomorrow. But if you go out and buy bonds and stocks, then they'll be right there again the next day going, "Hello, I got $1 million here. Anybody want to borrow it for nothing?" And obviously, again, don't piss it away on chicks and music, and you'll be okay. They'll give it to you, and you go buy bonds and stocks, and boom, next thing you know, it's free money. That's what it's called. They don't exactly come to you and say, "Okay, we're going to charge you. You just made 2% overnight or 1% overnight on it for free. We're going to charge you." They don't do that unless you blow it on probably chicks and music, So, and booze. 2 to 3. Chicks, music, and booze. But so that's how they move the money into the marketplace. And it's documented. It's actually documented. They've been lending money like that for months. They're just lending them $500 million here, $750 million there. And this is not all of them. I'm talking about individually. And so why do you think the markets are not really falling apart? Because the Fed is plowing money into the marketplace every night. And if you do what they like, they'll give it to you again tomorrow. I mean, free money is free money, right? Does that blow your minds? Does that sound crazy? That's why we used to play that song. It might sound a bit crazy what we say here, but everything we say here is documented. So that's insane. That's what's insane about it. And so that's what's really going on. So you can see here on the stock indices, they're having a hard time. Now you can do this. You can do a pairs trade. I mean, I bet they don't get too pissy if you go and buy the S&P and go and sell, say, the Russell, or vice versa. Buy the Russell and sell the S&P. As long as you're doing something they like, they're going to give it to you tomorrow night. Again, for free. Matter of fact, we put this up on the screen one day where the Federal Reserve, they actually show who they're lending the money to overnight and how they don't charge for it overnight. So, it might sound crazy. It might sound amateurish. It might sound insane, but it's a reality. And that's really weird. Talk about weird. There's a reality. Okay. So now, let's see, where do we go from here? Let's take a look at the S&P 500 itself. There it is. You can see it's having that pressure also a couple days in a sell. It's trying to roll over. I can't get the weekly to break down whatsoever. And, it's not like I have any power to do so, but it just will not break down. And then let's take a look at, that's what we have right here. That's the S&P 500 on a 15-minute basis. You can see the weakness, and then sure enough, I'm sure some of that free money said, hey, you know what the hell? Let's buy some of that. If I buy enough of it, maybe it'll look and they'll give me even another extra $500 million or $1 billion. I can buy puts. I can sell calls. I can do all kinds of synthetic things. This could be fun. And so there's the daily right there on the same product. on the J4X as I sip my tea one more time. And so that's the convulsions and confusion that we see every day here in the marketplace. Wow. You don't see that on TV. You won't see that on Bloomberg. You won't see that on CNBC. They will not talk about anything negative about any of this stuff. They'll insinuate something a little negative once in a while, just to act like as if they can come back to you a year from now or 2 years and go, see, we did talk about it on some level. Yeah, one time for like 3 minutes, and then you're broadcasting for, I don't know, 24 hours. How come you don't talk about it for at least 3 hours a day? Where's that investigative reporting going on that you all claim that you do? Indeed, indeed. Okay, let's see now. Where else are we? So we are looking at that. Oh, and the last one we might as well look at, and that is the Nasdaq 100, which is like the creme of la creme. It's like the best of the best. Doing its rolling over again right there. Got the little pinkish thing going on here, but I just can't get that green line through. And we'll take a look at it on J4X. Right there. Dukascopy refers to it as the USA Tech 100 Index, or Tech's Index, and that's what it really is too. It is. It's everything that makes our society go forward every day, technologically. It's there. Intel, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Netflix, name it, it's there. And that is that. Okay, now, let's see. Someone posted a cup of tea up on one of my websites, and I'm just saying to them, good morning. Let's see. What other products? We've done the indices. We've seen the cryptos. I am amazed that cryptos are breaking down like that, but, because of the inflation we see. There's the 30-year bond. Let's just look at that. Ooh, firm this morning. It was, the daily was much lower this morning. It was much lower. They're reaching again. It's always that odd flight to safety thing that we do in the world of trading. Where the problem might be in the United States and they go and buy our currency and then they go buy our bonds. It's like, wait a minute, wait. You're running into that house that's on fire. You're supposed to be running out of that house. So obviously, even when we do stupid things here, the world sees us as, which is a really dismal thing to think about, is that even when we do stupid things here, like what we're doing now with our commander-in-chief, they run to us thinking that we're the safest haven in the world. I mean, you don't see the Chinese economy, people running towards that and trying to buy anything there. I mean, you don't see it going on in the Russian Federation. You probably see it a little bit in the European Union, but we always see it in the dollar and the stocks and so forth. That is something. I heard a number yesterday. It was one of the stranger numbers I had heard on one of the talking shows that claimed that 75% of the activity in the stocks in the United States is by foreign companies. That's a big number. I could see 45%. I could see 50. But 75? Wow. Does that mean we're really big on buy and hold, or we're not trading actively, or what is that all about? That is definitely a unique thing. I've seen numbers somewhat like that, but never as much as they're saying right now it is. Wow, 75% of the activity in our stock market is now from foreign companies, entities, investors. Wow. I don't even know how to even equate that at this point. That's a monster number. All right, traders, what else we got going? Anybody got a question anywhere? Let's see if there's any questions, and if not, we were going to get out of Dodge here. Ah, there he is. There's the MHB. How you been? Have not seen you in a while. we're doing good here. We're getting ready to close it down. You see anything you would like to see? I can throw it up there real quick. Let's see. What's next? Should come up with something next. If not, we're going to jump out of Dodge here. I'll give you a few more seconds to, if there's a time lag or something like that. All right. So happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Ta-ta for now, traders. Catch you on Happy to Hump Day.